The night was heavy with silence, broken only by the hum of neon and the crack of pool balls in a smoky biker bar. Then everything stopped. A boy, just 7 years old, stepped through the door with 7 crumpled dollars in his hand. He wasn't looking for candy or even food. He was looking for killers. His name was Tyler. His bruises told the story his voice could barely carry. A stepfather who turned into a monster when the bottle emptied. A mother too broken to stand. And a child who had walked 2 miles in the dark because no one else would listen. Cops had ignored the calls before. Neighbors stayed silent. Tonight Tyler gambled everything on $7 and a desperate plea. What he found wasn't what he expected. These men were dangerous, yes. But they weren't blind to what they saw in front of them. For men who lived with violence, it was the one thing they recognized instantly. The difference between vengeance and protection. Sirens wailed in the distance. Trouble was already moving faster than anyone could stop, and with one phone call, one decision, the night shifted from silence to thunder. Engines roared awake. 15 motorcycles tore into the dark, not for blood, but for a boy and his mother, who might not survive until morning. The sirens shifted from rumor to reality, slicing the night in a straight line toward Maple Road. Word came thin and cold, a shooting at the Blue Trailer. The kind of place where even badges walk in pairs. The bar exhaled as one. Decisions hardened. The floor vibrated before the first kickstart, then thunder. 15 engines lit up the dark like a storm with intention. Headlights stitched a white seam across empty county roads. This wasn't a hunt. It was an escort to the edge of a bad story, where a child was trying to change the ending in real time. The trailer park waited under a carnival of red and blue. Tape fluttered. Radios crackled. The line in the dirt was clear. Law on one side, loss on the other. The formation rolled in and settled, steel quiet, hearts loud. Not a challenge. A presence. The message was simple. Nobody here is alone tonight. News hit fast, she's alive. The stepfather is bleeding, in cuffs, and still swearing vengeance. The neighbor who stepped in is shaking. Courage leaves an aftertaste. Paperwork arrives with polished shoes, the kind that never bend. The boy is scheduled for a system. A temporary forever with strangers. The rulebook says so. Another call, another kind of badge, a nurse with calm hands and a legal door most people don't know exists. Emergency foster. Right now. No speeches, just signatures. The map of the night redraws itself in ink. A child finds a bed that isn't a bargaining chip. A mother finds a room where the door locks from the inside. But safety born in the dark has natural enemies at dawn. Hospitals discharge. Hearings convene. Promises slip through the cracks and statutes if nothing heavier pins them down. Word spreads that the man who made this mess could walk before breakfast. He has a key to the past and a mouthful of threats for the future. So the bikes idle like guard dogs outside a cheap motel, their heat fading, their watch beginning. Cash is gathered with the speed of anger disciplined into purpose. Medicine, a room, a lawyer for the veteran whose hands still won't stop trembling. Protection widens from muscle to logistics. Phone calls answered, doors replaced, eyes on the corners no one else watches. Some nights end with sirens. This one ends with a clock. The hour is set. The courthouse will open whether anyone is ready or not. And somewhere between the ink on a form and the first light over the lot, a question hangs. When the door swings in the morning, what walks out with it? Justice, or another chance for a monster to finish what he started? Hold on to the quiet. It's the last you'll get. Morning is coming, and it's bringing a verdict none of them are willing to accept. The night buys time, but the morning demands proof. A hospital band releases, a bail hearing schedules. The system that ignored screams yesterday is ready to open its doors today, and let a monster walk through them. But Tyler isn't finished. From his pocket, he pulls an old phone. Not a toy, not a distraction. A lifeline. His real father's last gift with one instruction: record when bad things happen. 17 files. 6 months of bruises and broken voices. Dates, faces clear as daylight. Evidence stronger than any testimony. Stronger than anger. The prosecutor's eyes widen. The stepfather's fate shifts from bail to bars, from a night to nearly a decade. Paper wins what fists could not. But every door closed leaves windows rattling. Family is currency in a world like his, and the stepfather's brothers arrive with interest. 3 men armed with rage and the wrong kind of confidence roll into the motel where a boy and his mother try to sleep. But they don't find fear waiting. They find 15 engines cooling, 15 shadows standing, 15 reasons to reconsider. No shots, no fist, just presence, the kind of weight that bends intentions before they break into violence. By dawn, the brothers are gone. By noon, no one will speak their names in this town again. The story could have ended there. A mother safe, a boy sheltered, a villain caged. But protection isn't a single night. It's ongoing. Rent covered, lawyers paid, doors fixed, neighbors thanked, a veteran honored with a medal for courage that nearly broke him. Safety becomes a system, stitched together by people who decided to show up when it mattered. And in the corner of a bar, framed behind glass, hang 7 crumpled bills. Not payment, not a contract. A reminder. The night the dangerous chose discipline over destruction. The night $7 bought an army of guardian angels, dressed like demons. In the courthouse, the gavel falls. The stepfather is caged not by fists or fury, but by evidence, 17 recordings, each one louder than any excuse. 8 years. Enough time for a boy to breathe without fear, but justice on paper doesn't erase scars. The brothers vanish. Whether by warning or by witness protection, no one can say. The city gives the veteran a medal, though the tremor in his hands never quite leaves. Tyler's mother gets keys to a new apartment, doors that lock from the inside, and a community that finally sees her. None of it came from the system. It came from 15 men who understood violence and chose a different kind. Inside the Iron Horse bar, a frame hangs on the wall. Not a trophy, not a weapon, but 7 crumpled bills under glass. They're worth more than money ever was. They bought time. They bought safety. They bought a family no one expected. Every Thursday night, those bills look down at men who still carry scars of their own. And remember the boy who turned them into protectors instead of predators. Years pass. Tyler grows taller, steadier. He has children of his own now, who will never walk 2 miles in the dark begging strangers for help. And yet, he still visits Richard every week. Not because he needs to, but because some families are chosen, forged in fire and fear, and held together by the decision to show up when no one else would. $7. 15 promises. One night that proved sometimes the most dangerous men make the best guardians. Not because they've never known violence, but because they know exactly when not to use it. Some stories end in courtrooms. Some end in violence. This one ended with a choice to stand in front of a child, not behind excuses. To protect, not to destroy. To turn $7 into something priceless. The legend of that night isn't about bikers or bruises. It's about what happens when people who understand the cost of violence decide it's too high and choose to shield instead of strike. That's the power of presence. That's the power of family chosen in the fire. And if one child could buy an army of angels for 7 crumpled bills, imagine what we could buy if we all showed up when someone whispered for help.